Welcome back to the channel, boys. Fabloonski's coming at your neck with this impulse recycler build. Now with this build, we're going to try to utilize the brand new mod impulse recycler. It came with us in Season of the Splicer on the new artifact. Now what this mod allows us to do is get grenade energy upon getting grenade final blows. So we're going to take advantage of that. We got some grenade spam, we got demolitionist weapons, and we got elemental well mods. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So for this build, we're going to utilize Sunbreaker Titan. I'm using middle tree Sunbreaker, but honestly you can use whatever tree you wanted to use. Bottom tree wouldn't be a bad idea either, because you get the health regen upon getting grenade kills, you get the sunspots, you get weapon damage buffs, not a bad idea. And top tree, you get tempered metal, solar ability kills grant you and nearby allies movement speed and reload speed. But the main reason I'm using middle tree is because of this perk right here, roaring flames. Kills with your solar abilities increase those abilities damage, and it stacks up to 3 times. So I want to make my grenades nukes, since I'm gonna have so many of them. Honestly, using sunspots really doesn't matter because I have demolitionist, elemental well mods, and I have ashen wake and impulse recycler. So I figured this wouldn't really be that good, and I'm not really going to be reloading. And movement speed, yeah, although that's nice, I'm not really too worried about it. So I figured I would go with roaring flames so that my grenades do insane damage. So since most of our ad clear is going to come from grenades, I figured I would use my heritage shotgun autoloading recombination as kind of like another boss killer. I don't really have ammo finders on or anything like that, so this is one way I'm going to deal with bosses. Now I'm using a weapon with demolitionist and as a solar weapon. This is the new SMG that came with us in this season, borrowed time. I have dynamic sway demolitionist, and then we got another boss killer weapon, Deathbringer. Now the main reason I went with borrowed time, because it's a solar SMG and it has demolitionist on it, is because I have this mod on right here, fonts of might, but we'll get to that in just a second. As for our stats, we got 27 mobility. Now we have a flat 100 resilience. This is really important because I like using my barricade a lot, and it's another way I'm going to be able to get some grenade energy just in case I don't get my grenade energy fully from getting kills. We have 61 recovery, which is pretty nice. Honestly, I was trying to get this high as possible without losing resilience, so 61 I feel like is a pretty nice even ground. We got 48 discipline, really doesn't matter at all. Now we have 76 intellect. This is honestly completely by accident. It's just the way my armor was rolled, but honestly I'll take it. 76 intellect can't hurt. And we have 20 strength. Now onto our mods, we got a resilience mod. We have double ashes to assets, gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. I'm going to be spamming my grenades a lot, getting a lot of kills with my grenades, so I want to be able to get my super back as much as possible. Just kind of makes sense here. I'm not really going to be using my ammo finders as much as possible. I'm just going to be using my ad clear, my grenade, and my SMG, so it doesn't really matter to have ammo finders on. And then we also got Font of Might. Picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type grants a temporary bonus to weapon damage of that same elemental type. Hence why I picked the new SMG Borrowed Time, because it's a solar SMG and it has demolitionist on it. I have elemental ordnance on, so I can spawn elemental wells from getting grenade kills. I'm going to pick those up and get a 5-second damage buff to solar weapon damage. Now onto my exotic piece of choice. We're using Ashen Wake. Now the exotic perk that comes on it is Bring the Heat. Fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throw speed. Final blows with fusion grenades grant grenade energy. So I'm stacking this exotic with impulse recycler. Grenade final blows grant grenade energy. Multiple copies of this mod increase the amount of energy gain. As you can see, I'm double stacking this mod. I'm not really worried about having a reload like mod or anything because I'm going to be using so many grenades. So I figured I would stack these up so I get even more grenade energy on kill. And then we also got elemental charge. Become charged with light by picking up an elemental well. If the elemental well's element type matches your subclass element, you gain 2 stacks of charge with light. On my chest piece, we got a resilience mod. Now we have our damage resist mods. We got melee damage resist and concussive dampener. You can swap these out however you would like. And then we also have firepower. While charged with light, regain a portion of your grenade energy when you use your grenade, consuming 1 stack of charged with light, and this mod stack. So I think I have another one. I have either 1 or 2 more mods of firepower. On my legs, we got a resilience mod as well. Then we have double innervation mods, reduce grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. All my weapons are masterwork, plus any orbs that my teammates generate. I'm going to pick those up just in case I'm not able to get my grenade back fully. This is another way I'm going to be able to get some grenade energy. And then we also have elemental ordnance. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. Now I forgot to mention this earlier, but picking up an elemental well grants energy to your ability with the lowest current energy. Picking up an elemental well whose element matches your subclass damage type grants energy to all your abilities. So I'm using a solar subclass. I'm going to be spawning solar elemental wells. I'm picking those up. It's going to make me become charged with light, allowing me to use firepower, and plus it's just going to give me some ability energy. On top of that, I get a nice weapon damage buff to solar weapons. It's a nice synergizing build. I love it. And on my Titan mark, we got a minor recovery mod. Now we have double bomber mods. Every time I use my class ability, I get a nice chunk of grenade energy. Again, another way, just in case I'm not able to get enough kills to get my grenade back, I'm able to use my barricade, and I get some grenade energy in return. Then we got another stack of firepower. And onto my Titan fashion, we had a couple of options here, but honestly I went with the all black and a little bit of blue look. I think it looks really nice. It matches the little blue spots right here on Ashen Wake. I didn't see this change with any other shader, so I figured I would match it with my cloak, Jesus Christ, what is my Titan mark. So it kind of fits very well. Let's go ahead and go down to the shaders and armor pieces. We got the sunbreak helm, plate, sunbreak greaves, and we got the bulletsmith iron mark. We're also using metro shift on all my pieces, so in case you guys want to recreate this fashion, there you go. I don't think I've ever created a build with this much grenade spam. The fact that you can keep getting these kills with impulse recycler and ashen wake, and the fact that they stack, add firepower with that, and then you have so many grenades, and it's kind of hard to show it off in override, and I'll get to that in just a second because I think that activity needs way more enemies so that way these builds can actually get going. But even with the little amount of enemies that override has, I felt like I was still able to spam my grenades, which is very important because this build literally grenade spam. There's even times where I had roaring flames ×3 and I was able to chunk down some pretty chunky enemies. So I like that the fact that it has ad clear, and just in case you need to use your grenade on a chunky enemy, it can also do some pretty decent damage as well. Throw in the fact that you have the elemental well mods, you can pick up an elemental well, get a nice solar damage buff. If you don't even want to use Deathbringer, you can use Cold Duello or Sleeper or something that's solar damage to get the nice damage buff on top of that. So this build has some potential going for it, and I really like it. Now, if there was one thing I could change about the build, and it's not really about the build itself, but it's the fact that Impulse Recycler is a mod for your arms. I wish that it was for maybe your chest piece or your class item or something else, but the fact that it's on your arms, you kind of have to take away a reload mod, which kind of sucks. And I know there's a couple of other mods. I think it's impact induction, or I forget the other ones, but the one that you use your grenade, get damage with your grenade and it gives you your melee back, or get damage with your grenades and get class ability back. I wish I could use those mods instead of Impulse Recycler, and maybe put Impulse Recycler on your chest piece, but it is what it is. Now on to Override, and I really wish that this activity just had more enemies, because it constantly feels like I'm fighting for having fun. Like I'm fighting to have fun with my teammates, and I don't like that feeling. I have this build which allows me to grenade spam, and I couldn't even really grenade. I mean, I was able to grenade spam, but I can't really grenade spam the way I want to because there just is not enough enemies. By the time I get to the mobs, they're already dead because my enemy shot a salvage salvo, or they're using a scout rifle or a rocket and they just blow everything up. And I'm like, well, now I gotta go find the next ads. But by the time I get to the next ads, they're already dead. Like I'm constantly running around trying to have fun, and it's such a bad feeling. I did not have this problem with Battlegrounds, which is why I think Battlegrounds is one of the best activities in Destiny. It is so much fun. There's tons and tons of enemies, there's bosses, there's like slight mechanics, like a little bit of mechanics, which is just enough because I know mechanics kind of throws people off, but there's so many enemies and it was fantastic. They should have brought that enemy density into Override, because then I think that it would have hit a lot better. I know people do love Override, and I like it. It's just not Battlegrounds, and I would just wish that there was more enemy density. But that's it for the build, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I really like it, and I'm happy that I was able to come up with something like this. I was thinking about it while I was at work, and I was like, I wonder if this idea would actually synergize well. And I did some testing, switch a couple of things around, but it ended up working. So let me know what you guys think, and I hope you guys enjoyed. But if you guys like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. It truly helps me out a lot. You can also check out my other videos. Links are in the description below. I have a lot of crazy builds, so go ahead and check that out. And you might as well follow my social media. I have a Twitter, Instagram, and a TikTok, all at @Fat_Balloonskis. So go ahead and hit that follow button. But with all that being said, deuces.